Welcome to the SEGA Lounge, where we celebrate our love for all things SEGA, including the games, the music, and the community. I'm your host, KC. Join me as I talk to different guests and learn more about their projects and passion for SEGA. Hello! Welcome everyone to our first live episode of the season here on the SEGA Lounge. So hello to people listening in on Radio SEGA. Hello to people watching on Twitch. Very nice to be here tonight, but I'm not alone. Good evening, Resident ST. Thank you. I'm not alone tonight, so I have good friends of the show, starting with actually the owner of this whole place, SkillJim. Hello, SkillJim.
Hello, everyone. How you doing, Casey?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Excellent. That was a great entrance. Amazing. We also have Lime Reversed.
Oh, hello there.
Didn't see you there, Lime.
Thank you for stopping by.
Oh, what a surprise. You're here.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you for joining us, Lime. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you very much for joining us. And we also have Viper.
No way. I'm in the SkillJim Lounge. This is incredible.
Welcome to the SkillJim Lounge. Yes. Very good. So thank you guys for joining me. Viper, how are you? I didn't ask.
Dreadful. No, I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Dreadful. Okay, that's the spirit. Welcome to the show, guys. Thank you very much for joining me for this first live episode of the season, which is always nice. Heck yeah. Very good. So continuing with last season's tradition, I think. Now it is. And we'll try to have at least one episode every month that is done live on both Twitch and Radio SEGA. Before we get to the meat of this show, a couple of things. First of all, thank you guys for listening to the live or the pre-recorded version of the show. Really appreciate you guys. Wanted to mention something real quick because I don't usually do this, but I should more often. And now we have stuff to promote. So if you wish to help to support the show, because we know we have to pay the bills somehow, and we don't actually have ads and stuff like that. But if you do wish to support the show, you can go to thesegalounge.com/support and you can find ways to do that. And it's now actually a proper section of our website. So thesegalounge.com/support. And you can either choose to buy me a coffee, because I'm a coffee addict. If you do wish to buy me some kind of coffee to get me through the day, you can do that. Or maybe a better option, because you get something in return, is to buy some merch, some TSL merch. So currently we have some stickers, we have some TSL Season 7 shirts, hoodies, mugs, but we will very soon, probably like next week or something, be selling. I should look better. Although the green screen is like not helping, but it's a 10th anniversary SEGA Lounge mug.
That's slick.
It looks gorgeous.
Black,
it looks absolutely awesome.
And I've been drinking out of this thing for a few weeks just to test to see if the quality is good. But it's good. I haven't died yet, so it's not poisonous or anything. The materials are good, so hopefully probably next week we'll have that added to the merch section. So thesegalounge.com/support. The show is free, but if you wish to support us, help us pay the bills with with servers and websites and stuff, and podcast hosts. Sorry?
Lime's booking fee.
Exactly. Lime's booking fee. Yes.
It's the biggest bill of all.
It is like our yearly budget.
It's hard to get.
75% is like Lime's fee. Yeah, it's not hard, not easy. No. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention.
Not everybody can afford me, so
Oh, nice. The second thing I wanted to mention is that you can go to the SegaLaunch.com or TerraPlayer or your podcast provider of choice and find all previous episodes of the show. Obviously, on the SegaLaunch.com, you get easier access to previous shows. I've been working on the guest section, which is really nice because when we brought back the show in podcast form and I created my website and stuff, the guest section is something that we didn't have before, and we only added guests from season 5 forwards. So season 4 and earlier shows, the episode pages don't really have the guests correctly formatted and added. So I've been working on adding them slowly but surely, and I didn't even remember we had Aaron Weber on the show, for example. So we've had some interesting guests, and if you go to our website, thesegaLaunch.com, and you just look at the guests section, you can find, for example, the biggest guest of all, Lime Reversed. You can see all the episodes that Lime has featured in. So, that's
many episodes.
A good incentive.
A long list.
Too many.
That's it. So yeah, that's about it. I'll shut up now with not interesting stuff, and let's talk about what we were here for. So this is episode 210 of the Sega Lounge. Guys, thank you again for joining me. We have a lot to talk about regarding the Community Pulse, which is the name that I thought of. I apologize in advance. I wanted to feel the pulse of the community. Yes, that's it. SkillJim, yeah. Like here? I would.
I don't know. Where was I doing it?
More closer. Probably.
I usually check here if I want to check the poll.
Okay, this is great audio stuff, by the way. Great audio content.
Oh yeah.
For people listening to the podcast.
I was putting 2 fingers up to my throat here on the side of it. For you who
can
listen.
probably feel it better, Casey, with the coffee that you're drinking. It's probably pulsating.
It's pulsing. Yeah, pulsating. Yeah.
The audio listeners, sure. Boom.
Exactly. Thank you. The audio description is on point. Thank you very much. And so this is a survey that I created to continue tradition in a way. Each year, the second episode of the season is a look back at the year of Sega that passed, and getting to feel what people thought about Sega games and whatnot. This year we did it a little bit different as a way to try something new. We'll see if it's a good way to move forward or not, but we'll take a look at some of the categories that people voted on, and we'll take a look at the games that people consider the best of 2023 or the most notable of 2023. Before that, because we haven't done one of these since last December, maybe we want to take a look at some news, guys? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for the enthusiasm. Yes. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, let's do this. I'm so excited.
There's loads of news as well.
By the way, quick shout out to Resident SD, to Lewis from the Dreamcast Junkyard, who is also joining us here live, and says, apologize for any bomb rush cyberpunk propaganda I submitted. You were not the only one, my friend. You were not the only one, and for good reason. But let's start with some news. I actually have a script for this first piece of news that I will read here.
Oh, I want to do that one.
No, the script is, James, you're always on top of the news. Would you like to tell us about the Sega AI?
The Sega AI. Oh, that is a topic that I'm well versed in, Casey. So I don't really know much about it, to be honest. I should have done a lot of research. I had planned to.
Wow, Casey.
It looks amazing.
Wow.
I told him I would do it, and he said go for
not,
it. So,
my gosh, I didn't think you would actually do that. But okay.
So, in short, the SMS Power community, which you know people who are Sega fans probably know a little bit of, right? The SMS Power community is like the 8-bit Sega community, led by Omar Cornut. I think I'm saying the name right. Who is the CEO of Lizardcube, by the way, incidentally. But they discovered and they brought to the public information, file software of the SEGA AI computer from 1986, which is like a very cool piece of tech and one of the rarest SEGA systems and least well-known systems. And these files are now available. They were preserved, and people can actually emulate the SEGA AI computer. Right? Have you guys, any of you guys, tried this yet?
I wanted to try it, but then I heard it's Japanese, so I didn't think I would be able to.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet.
I'll do it eventually.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
I wanted to as well. I'll get around to it eventually. But I think if not for anything else, it's a very cool thing to do, right? To preserve these old systems and it shows as well how ahead of its time Sega were, right? In 1986, expanding the possibilities with artificial intelligence, but probably not really what we consider AI today, I guess. But it's a really cool thing. And you can actually find it at smspower.org. I'll leave the link to this in the podcast description at the show notes, so you can actually get it. Yeah, that's the first bit of news we had for today. What else do we have? Maybe I think this next one is for Lime. Lime is really excited about this next one.
I was very excited. Let's begin like from the beginning, where we started hearing rumors about Sonic Generations getting remastered. Like, what is this? And also, why? Like, because I know that we were talking about this, and like, does Sonic Generations really need a remaster? Like, it's already on PC where you could play it on full HD and high frame rate and everything, and also with the later Xbox console. So, like, does it need one? And then we got the release trailer for that, and it's more than just a remaster. It is Sonic X Shadow Generations, where we're gonna have a shadow story, like a shadow campaign, and it's gonna what's the word?
Be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. But also, like, shadow story is gonna intersect with Sonic's story in this game. And looking at the trailer, it looks absolutely awesome. So I'm very much looking forward to this. What about you?
What about you, Viper? Thoughts?
No, I'm incredibly looking forward to it. I'm not in Lime territories, but I love Generations. I mean, it's hard to ask a Sega fan in like the last 10 or so years who doesn't. Even if you don't really like the state of Sonic right now, it's like still considered one of the few good ones, or it's one of the best if you do. So more of it's not a bad thing, being able to play it on modern platforms. I know it's had problems on PC for ages, and even the new Xbox upgrade thing isn't perfect either. So making it more accessible to more people in a better way, especially if you're on PlayStation, you've not had any of this love, for example. You've had to be on Xbox or PC to play it in a very, they weren't the best of things when they came out, bless it. It tried on console, but truly was a bit of a mess. So actually having access to like a really good version, and that's before you even add in all the additional content, which I've heard it being dubbed as like the year of Shadow. And I think, that sounds about right, considering Sonic 3. And I'm sure we're going to have like some Twitter comics like they sometimes do leading into both of those as well. So should be a good time, hopefully.
Yeah. I'm definitely not as excited as you guys probably. I'm getting a little bit more excited as time goes by. And as I look at this, again, I was watching the trailer as you guys were talking, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. This is kind of cool. But I think this is it's the more I think about it, like from a business perspective and like a tie-in with the movie perspective, it makes a lot of sense. It was probably very easy to do, very low budget when compared to like a proper new Sonic game. Just add some shadow content to tie in with the movie, get people like excited for whatever Sonic Frontiers 2 is, right? Or whatever project we get next, and tidy people over with this, and Shadow fans will be excited, obviously. So, yeah, I think it makes sense. Viper, you want to say something
from it?
Do I? I mean,
no, I thought you were...
I have no idea.
No.
I'm lost.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, Jim, you were saying something.
I was just asking what do you expect is going to happen with this project? Do you reckon it's going to force you to play through the entire Sonic portion of Sonic Generations again and then unlocks the Shadow stuff? Or do you think the Shadow stuff is like there from the start? And how many stages is the Shadow mode? Is it going to be like a small portion, like 4 classic Shadow stages or something? Or is it going to be an entire second half of a game? I don't know.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
How long it's going to be, no one knows. I'm hoping that it's a little bit more than the Shadow edition of Sonic Forces.
I reckon
so.
It's going to be
if it's in the name.
Similar.
Do you like DLC feeling?
You feel like it's the same thing as Sonic Forces? You have to play through the whole thing and then you have like a separate campaign for Shadow, or?
I think it's possible that it could be like what they did with the Plus things, like Sonic Mania Plus. Like you, if you had the game, you could just like buy the additional content as DLC, but it was also kind of sold as a separate game. I think that would make sense, but I have no idea how they are going to do this. But I think that's very possible that they could do it that way.
Okay, yeah. It could be intertwined with the main campaign, right? Like in between, because like the white space idea, you could have like Shadow sections in between, especially if they're calling it Sonic Cross Shadow, Sonic X Shadow Generations. I don't know what the idea is, but having it like a separate story could work as well. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be a separate story, but still interact or like intertwine with the original story. That's the impression that I'm getting from it.
Okay.
I hope it's longer than it sounds like it might be, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I'm really wondering is, why are they calling it a remaster? I've been really trying to look into this, and I've been looking at the footage, what they showed in the trailer, like the Sonic Generations part of it, and then like how it looked in the how it looks now, and there's literally no difference at all. It's not different.
Better, maybe
no, it's not. It's really not.
Slightly different. Like ever so slightly.
I think the 3D, the modern stage, the gun trucks chase looks slightly different. I don't know what it is exactly, but maybe I noticed some difference. But maybe it's just my brain playing tricks on me.
The only difference that I could have seen maybe would be like some slight difference in color. But that I could just like chalk up to the rendering of the video, because things like that can change.
Yeah.
Just with that.
So by the way, tying with what we were saying about like the shadow portion of the game. So this is Takashi Iizuka's comment on the game on the PlayStation
That's what
blog.
I was laughing about earlier.
I noticed. Yeah, the PlayStation blog. Sorry, Tails channel. Good job, though. With Sonic X Shadow Generations, we wanted to bring Sonic Generations to PS5 and PS4. and other systems, while pairing a brand new Shadow storyline to cross over with the original story. So
that sounds like your idea then, Casey. Intertwined.
I actually don't get that from this.
No.
I get like more of a separate storyline, because with Shadow's portion of the title, players will get to know him more as a character and understand his motivations. It will create the ultimate celebration of classic Sonic, modern Sonic, and Shadow gameplay that all fans will surely enjoy.
Surely.
Sure. Yeah. So
Surely.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, right? What the actual game is like. Coming autumn 2024.
Yeah.
Apparently,
I think the PlayStation thing might be like it could forgive calling it a remaster, since it didn't get the upgrade that they did for Xbox, for example. So I compare within the PlayStation ecosystem, like if you would play Sonic Generations there, you would still have to go back to what it was like, upscaled 720p and 30 FPS, and barely, yeah, even so. Like, I mean, in that ecosystem, it could be seen as a remaster, maybe.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah. What is a remaster, though? That's a good question. That's a question for another podcast.
An entire podcast.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on with, and this is actually a perfect segue, because we're talking about Shadow. We also got some news about the Sonic 3 movie, right? Apparently, a bit of a surprise for some people, because he said he would retire after Sonic, the second Sonic movie, but apparently Jim Carrey will reprise his role as Dr. Robotnik, as Eggman in Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Cha-ching.
Yes.
I was so freaking excited for this. I was so happy to hear this. I was so happy, because, you don't know. He said he would be retiring, but there was still like some chance. I felt like it could happen, and then it happened, and I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, he was like, I'm going to retire unless you pay me the big bucks, right?
Yeah,
so
instantly doubled his wages. But I couldn't see how they would portray Eggman or Robotnik without Jim Carrey now. Like, after two films, is he recastable? I don't know. It's going to be a struggle in the future after this one, but I'm really pleased that he's here.
I'm with Gum here. She says, I always understood that Jim was happy to honor his ongoing roles, but would have been retired from taking on new ones.
Okay.
So that was
Makes
my
sense.
understanding as well. So he's probably has a contract for at least this movie. Maybe he already had one, because the first one was so successful. I'm guessing they signed him for more than just one movie at a time, or at least they had like a verbal agreement or something. So that's.
I mean,
that's
there were loads
my
of
perspective.
things that made me feel like that maybe wasn't the case, but I really hoped, because when he said that he was retiring, he said that I might return, like, and I quote, if the angels bring some sort of script that's written in gold ink that says to me that it's going to be really important for people to see, I might continue down the road,
I don't
but
think
I'm taking a
this
break.
is it.
So it's like, okay, is Sonic 3 movie that? Maybe it is. I don't know. It could be
Oscar material.
And then the whole thing about, because I know Jim Carrey has been talking about that he really doesn't like to do sequels, because then basically you're just imitating yourself and you have gone past your original inspiration, and it's not as good as a result. And so Jim Carrey has done sequels but doesn't really like to do them. So that was also one thing that made me feel like, okay, they got him for 2, and if that's the mentality he has, what are the chances we get a third one? So yeah,
Very
whichever
good.
is the case.
But it happened.
Yeah, whichever is the case, I think this is great news, right? For fans of the movie, it's great that he's back. Yeah, alongside Shadow, crossing over with Sonic Generations, and that's so. Lewis says surely he knew it would be a profitable movie series. Yeah, obviously. I mean, after the first one, yes. I don't
if he
think
didn't before, he knows now.
Well, I don't think we had our hopes were really that high up before the first movie came out, right? With all that confusion about the design of Sonic and whatever. So, and like video game movies are a little bit hit and miss. So, but now he does. He does know
Ugly
that.
Sonic.
Remember Ugly Sonic? Yes.
I'm so happy they changed that. I am so thankful that they changed that.
Yeah. It's like for many of us, it was the last movie we saw before the lockdown, right? So
Yep.
so that was a very big thing. So
First
memorable.
one after.
Yeah.
I don't watch much at the cinema, can you tell?
Okay, moving on. We have something else, which actually is, again, Sonic related and Sonic movie related as well, which is the Knuckles series is coming April 25th to Paramount Plus, that service that I think everyone subscribes to.
Definitely has.
Yeah, for sure. And so that's something. But it actually looks pretty good. From the trailer, right? It actually looks
really
great.
Does.
So it has Idris Elba probably coming back for the script as well.
Gold ink, something.
Exactly. And so it's got humor, it's got Knuckles being Knuckles, and I think it could be interesting. Thoughts, Jim?
I think it looks really cool. I know we were talking about it when the trailer launched, and we were all quite surprised how it looks to be on par with the movie in terms of quality, which I kind of wasn't expecting. I was expecting more of a TV-based version, but it just looks like it's... I mean, if there's 6 episodes, essentially you're getting a whole extra film in this series, along with the film that's coming later in the year. So we're getting 2 films this year if you whack them all together and call it Knuckles as a whole. But it just looks better than I was expecting.
It has like cameos from characters from the movie and even Sonic and Tails and stuff. So bigger than I expected. Maybe it's just like the first episode, like the first 5 minutes, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
Either way.
They do like to do that in shows, right? Where, Jim Carrey's there for like 2 seconds, but he's in the trailer.
Yeah. No, Jim Carrey is like the post-credit scene of the last episode to set up the third movie, probably.
Very true. Yeah.
Could be an idea.
I like this part here where in the trailer they're showing the Knuckles going at it, and the other person is like, "Does it look like I need your power?" And then the other one is like, "Yeah, we do. That's the whole reason we're here. Like, we're trying to steal Knuckles' power."
Knuckles' Sonic CD hat and from the the animated movie.
The movie, the animated movie. Yeah. Okay, so Knuckles 6-episode event. Sorry, Lime. We're bad time to switch scenes, right? Okay, bad timing, but okay. Yeah, really bad time to switch scenes.
I got tea down my throat.
I wasn't watching. I thought you were sneezing. Oh, you were coughing.
No,
I thought you were having a sneezing fit.
It's okay. It's okay. It's just how excited he is for Knuckles.
That's when we started talking about his hat.
Yeah, exactly. Coming April 25th to Paramount Plus. I'm actually curious. So apparently people who are watching this from the UK don't really have this service, don't subscribe to the service, apparently. I don't have the service either. Plus. What about the majority of our listeners in the US? Is this a big thing in the US, Paramount Plus?
I think it's bigger in the US, but I did subscribe to it like when it first came out because they had like a new Beavis and Butthead series. So I watched all that.
Okay.
It was okay. Very limited service, but
just like Knuckles.
It's one of those that you just dip in and out of. So now Knuckles is here, I'll sign up for a month. Well, more than a month, I guess, because is it 6 episodes? So if it's like a weekly thing, I think someone was saying that you're going to have to subscribe for 2 months.
So are they releasing an episode a week?
I'm not sure, actually, but I feel like I heard that recently that because it's 6 episodes, they're getting a second month out of you, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% on that.
So you have to subscribe 2 months. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, okay. It's just for the love of Knuckles. Makes sense.
I've been trying to.
Okay.
I've been trying several times actually to subscribe to Paramount Plus. Like I've even tried like the things with like pretending to be in the country, VPN things, like to try to get it, but they blocked that too. So like after a while, I'm like, okay, fine. Guess you just don't want my money.
So you'll be watching on Paramount Plus day one, though, right? You'll be flying out to America to watch Knuckles. When I see those screenshots of you watching it, that's what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah.
Can we get that on record?
Now,
for sure.
Right now, they have actually fixed it. They have a solution right now. I still can subscribe to Paramount Plus, but they have an equivalent in Sweden now.
Oh, an equivalent.
Has the same. No, they have an actual official equivalent that you pay for. No, stop it.
Pirate Mount Plus.
That's not it.
Pirate Mount Plus.
Gosh. But yeah,
No
so
judging.
I can stream those things officially now. So that's good.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking. I think it's available in Portugal. I do think it's available. I haven't checked, but
that's how little of an impact it's had. Then I'm guessing.
Yeah. If it's not, maybe it's available on one of the other. So usually what happens here is if there's a service that's not available here, one of the other ones like Disney Plus or Amazon Prime, they have like a partnership, and you have the shows and movies from other services available there.
I think we got Sonic 2 on Netflix for that reason, because Paramount Plus wasn't available here yet. And as SD keeps saying, it's now only available if you already have an outstanding subscription to the satellite TV main service over here.
Okay.
So it's a mess, to be honest. It's less of a mess than Lime, but it's still not great. They've not thought this through very well.
So can you not sign up to Paramount Plus anymore? You have to have a TV service.
That's what SD makes it sound like.
Right.
I don't know for sure, but I'm taking his word. He's not normally a trustworthy man, so I'm not sure we can.
You heard it here first.
I can't remember.
People.
I think I did mine on my not an Amazon stick, but that one that begins with a Z. I forgot what it was called.
No idea.
Nope.
Okay. Here's another stick service. I'm sure it begins with a Z.
With an R? No.
It's an R. It's an R.
Roku?
Yeah, what's it called? A Roku. Yeah. That's the one. Yeah.
I think that's owned by Sky, so that's probably how you managed it.
That could be why the Paramount Plus app was on that then.
Okay.
There you go then.
Confusing.
So yeah, come April, we'll all be trying to figure that out. So if you're in the US, you probably have it easier than us, but it's okay. We'll try to find a way. Yar. Okay. So let's keep going with another article. We need to keep going because we have to talk about the community.
Right.
Pulse.
Oh, those guys, thing. Right?
Yeah. So the next article we have here is SEGA issues financial warning after sluggish sales of Sonic Superstars, Endless Dungeon, and Total War Pharaoh. So they have issued a financial warning after what it called sluggish and weak sales during the crucial holiday 2023 period. Reporting its financial performance for the 9-month period ending December 2023, SEGA said it had revised its sales and profit forecast down, mainly due to weak sales of new games released during the third quarter of the financial year. And so they're including Sonic Superstars, Endless Dungeon, and Total War Pharaoh, right? As the ones that didn't sell as much as they were expecting. I mean, what are your thoughts, guys? I don't know. Yeah, that's my question here. Exactly, Jim. What are your thoughts on this? Were they expecting too much, perhaps?
I know it's been said a million times, a million ways since this news. Oh, Sonic Superstars released too close to Mario. I could say the same of Endless Dungeon. I believe that was the same day as that huge Sonic Frontiers update. Like, your flagship game versus a game admittedly popular with different crowds, but still a less popular game. Like, it feels like a huge conflict of interest in the sales department to me. One's free, I get it, but in terms of actual interest, people jumping into the game, looking at those numbers as well, that feels like, oh, I might not go out and buy it day one or whatever because, well, something else took my attention that you made on the same day. They can't even blame it on Nintendo or whatever in that case, you know? But yeah, Mario Wonder is the obvious case, and Sonic Superstars case, too expensive at launch for the content that was in there.
Sonic was, man, definitely. Wasn't it like 60 quid or something? Yeah.
They could have slashed that game in half and sold it for 30. Well, we can't get too much into spoilers, but certain campaigns in that game exclusively exist to pad the game to £50 or whatever it is in your country. It's very obvious that that's the only reason it's there. So they could have just slashed that out.
I think, was there a tweet or that maybe even that article a little bit below these comments, and someone was saying in one of the comments, I think it is on that article page, that like I've not done the research into this, but apparently they put a lot of money into Sonic Superstars, hence the high price.
Yeah.
They sort of like overvalued the design stage, which led to a game that you would think on paper, the way it looks, is like a £40 game.
Probably this comment here.
Was it the second one down?
Yeah, so he said the issue, at least according to the article, is the development cost for something like Sonic Superstars was a lot more expensive than it should have been as well, due to rising development costs in general. This is why they priced it so high. Right.
So, I don't know if you trust that comment, but
it would make sense if it's an outsourced game.
Makes sense.
Especially from a company who frequently works with, like, say, for example, Nintendo and other pretty high-profile companies. It makes sense that they would therefore demand a pretty high fee, especially if it took a couple years. Also, wasn't there that rumor that it restarted development twice? That would also pump a lot of cost in if you got to hire two different studios to make the same game.
Is that because the head case or whatever started it first?
Headcanon and the Taxman both apparently worked on a chunk of it before pulling out, supposedly. I don't know how true that is. So there's a lot.
Yeah.
But
it actually, they actually say it here, right? Like SEGA say, in addition, game development costs continue to rise. So they actually acknowledge this. Yeah.
It feels like they also, they brought up the thing that you also brought up with release with, there was competition in that release window. But I feel like when I look at reviews, the reception was mixed. Like that's exactly what it says on Steam. And when I look at when people are talking about it, people go like, it's okay. Yeah. And so I feel like the quality of the game is a lot here as well. I don't know if you can blame, there was other games, so it's not our fault.
Yeah.
But I feel like the game didn't really impress, I feel.
I think you definitely can blame the competition here, but not really the competition itself, but the fact that you choose to release your game. I'm
not saying it's 0%. I'm not saying it's 0%. I'm just saying like they only mentioned that as if it's the only reason, and I don't think that's the only reason.
Yeah, for sure. It's more than one. Yeah, more than one thing here.
Do you think the price was quite damaging, and maybe they just trusted that Sonic would sell the numbers, but like kind of what Lime's saying there with the mixed reviews, because of the high price tag, people wait to see what other people are thinking about it before they invest. Like, say if it started lower, they may have got double the sales because it's an easy
and pricing
game to buy
equals expectations as well.
And
If
also,
you price it that high, people are
as
going to have
time goes
expectations.
by, as we move forward in time, we get older, and the chunk of Sonic fans that are nostalgic for classic Sonic, enjoy classic Sonic, probably dwindles a little bit as well. So, having like a Sonic Frontiers against Sonic Superstars, people will probably, gravitate towards Sonic Frontiers more than a classic Sonic game, I would say. So yeah, definitely, as a fan of that game, as a person who enjoyed the game, and we will talk about it later, but it would be beneficial for everyone to have it priced at a more reasonable level, right, than like a full priced game. Didn't make much sense. Yeah. Indeed. For sure. So yeah, but that's it. That's the news here about their expectations not being met, probably wrong expectations to start with. So that's on them, I guess. But yeah, but on the flip side here, the early 2024 period is great because Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, the Persona 3 Reload game that came out as well, they sold like 1 million copies very quickly, like setting records. So hopefully this will be a better year.
I think.
Sorry?
Both were week 1 million sales, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So that's
and
great news
that
for
with
SEGA.
the Knuckles show and the Sonic movie later in the year, it's probably going to be a really good financial year in that sense.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on, since we want to keep going, we recently got a Nintendo partner direct, whatever, and we had actually an interesting announcement, which was Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble, right, coming to Switch on June 25. And as our resident Super Monkey Ball fan, Viper, thoughts?
Oh, I thought you were going to defer to SkillJim again. Oh, fair enough.
I just want to say, this trailer is genius.
This one's great. Why didn't they show this one in the direct? This is like a completely different
the parody
version
of the Apple presentations here. Amazing. Hats off.
Oh, I'm so excited for this game, but you know that already. I mean, it's just like graphically a leap above. Customization-wise, a leap above as well. The usual complaint you always get when these games come out is how the physics looks like. They've made some attempts, but I think really the main star of the show here is they really want to show off the multiplayer, which is something we've seen unofficially, I think, in Banana Mania last year, so they clearly probably peered over and took a couple notes. But it looks way more in-depth than what fans made there, so I'm looking forward to it. As SD says, it is a Switch exclusive, but they accidentally put up fresh screenshots with keyboard and mouse controls on them, so probably not going to hold out that long, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think the statistic, at least for Banana Blitz HD, so the one before last, was like overwhelmingly in favor of Switch sales, which is why they really focused on optimizing the Switch version for Banana Mania, and I assume that paid off. I think the series seems to be strongest on Nintendo right now. I mean, a lot of stuff is, but enough to where they can have their cake and eat it too by taking this deal effectively. So, I mean, if it's where the majority of the player base is, then all the power to them, I guess. Yeah, the performance is kind of an issue in some parts of the trailer, especially the one they showed in the Direct. The 16-player multiplayer looked like it had a little bit of trouble, but holding out for that PC release, considering it can't be far off.
How do you play online multiplayer on the Switch at the moment? Do you have to do that phone thing and then connect up like a Bluetooth headphone to your phone, or is it changed?
So that's for chat.
That's how you do voice chat, yeah. You just do it through the actual console for the actual multiplayer, so shouldn't be like too tedious of a process. Hopefully.
Do you reckon this is a whole different matter, but do you think the Switch 2 will be backwards compatible and we'll get these games like optimized for like automatically, like Series X, Xbox One, Series X, optimization?
You'd hope, but it depends on how much money they give NVIDIA. Because the boring technical thing I heard is that supposedly the chip which Nintendo would upgrade to isn't backwards compatible. But I'm sure they can slide NVIDIA a lot of money to get the top people on the team and go, hey, can you figure this out? Even though this currently isn't the case. You know, like, do you remember how weird and buggy that 360 backwards compatibility stuff was for the original Xbox games? That shouldn't have ever worked on paper, but that was a lot of money being put in by Microsoft. So I'm sure Nintendo have that Wii money still sat around, so I'll give it to NVIDIA to work
Wii
something
U
out.
money.
Yeah,
Maybe
not the Wii U
make
money.
Like,
that's a different thing, different console. You guys wouldn't understand. Apparently,
make it like, was it the DS where it still had a Game Boy Advance slot in the bottom?
Yes.
So
yeah, they're generally pretty
Nintendo.
good, but this time it relies on another company, so I think you got to play that. At least that's what I heard.
I'm guessing it's probably not very. If it's like the same infrastructure, shouldn't be too hard to make it happen.
It's probably outdated. I just remember hearing that somewhere. So
yeah, I heard
if
it
that
too.
is the case, that's
too.
interesting.
Yeah. But I think that they're shooting themselves in the foot if they're.
Yeah, there's
like,
no way they're
not making
Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
Like the Switch was like hugely popular to not make the one after backwards compatible to that. That would be a mistake.
Yeah,
and even the Wii U was compatible with the Wii, right? You could put Wii discs in. So, and GameCube in the Wii. So I think.
Indeed.
They've had a couple generations of it. Obviously, they lost it going to the Switch, but that was the, the whole Apple innovation through loss or what, I don't know, however they word it. But, we got to move forward, or we got to move backwards to move forward, right? That was Nintendo's logic here. So it'd be really stupid if we move backwards to move back.
Especially with the Switch library,
there's like thousands of games. It's like, it would be such a shame to lose it.
For sure, for sure.
They got to do it, but
hopefully we can get some sort of an upgrade in performance for these games, right? Especially the ones that are right now starting to struggle with the limitations of the Switch, And clearly, 16-player multiplayer on Switch. So probably.
My other concern was like, how active are these servers going to be in a couple of months' time? Is it a franchise that is going to maintain 16 players every time you want to go on?
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Is it an in-the-moment type of game where, the first week
I
you can...
I think, like, Monkey Ball is more popular than we might think. Especially within the Nintendo community as well. Right?
I
it
think
started
on
GameCube, like the console version started on GameCube, so...
Yeah.
And I know there are a lot of Nintendo fans who are Monkey Ball fans. So if they do this right, it could be popular enough to maintain like some support throughout the months.
16 players also isn't a huge number. I'm sure if even if in the event they're just like going into a match and finding it goes dead, I'm sure there'll be like plenty of. I've seen it for all sorts of games, like just game nights on Discord or something. So I've hopped in during one of those and I've got into a 16-player lobby easy. I did that on Sonic Transformed the other day, for example. Well, that's a dead game, and I got a 10-player lobby going on Wii U. So you just got to look in the right places sometimes, I guess.
Yeah.
One thing that I remember wondering about the multiplayer there is like I'm under the impression that you tilt the whole stage.
Yeah.
When you move with Monkey Ball, like if you do that,
that's a good point, actually.
Like, does it do it for everyone or just you? And if it's just you, how does that work?
Maybe it changes to just tilting the ball. I think they changed that between games. It used to be you tilt the ball and now you tilt the stage, so maybe they'll change it back to tilting the ball for multiplayer, because otherwise, it feels like a conflict of interest from everyone who's pressing buttons at that point.
16 people fighting.
I want to go this way.
Yeah.
So June 25th, by the way, exclusively on Switch, at least for now. Maybe PC later. Yeah. Okay, last bit of news before we keep going is Samba de Amigo Party to Go, right? This was just announced like yesterday Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody Amigo Party to go on Apple Arcade, everyone's favorite platform, brings the party to the masses with a huge new update, new mode, online match, which is interesting. On like your phone. New tracks, Cupid, twin version, sped up by 50/50. Do It Well, and an original track from SEGA. Puyo Puyo costume and accessory spec. So there we go. New content for Somebody Amigo Party to go. I haven't touched this. Yeah, new for this at least. I haven't touched this since like the game came out last year on the phone. Have you played it, Viper?
I have. I don't have very high opinions on this one. If you just play it, like, to play Somebody Amigo, it's fine. But one of the big draws at launch was that it was the only version with a story mode. The Switch version just didn't have a proper story mode.
Yeah.
If you're playing it for that, it's not good. It was one of those... I don't know how you word it. It's just one of those rhythm games where you just feel like you throw yourself at a wall, and then the only way you pass some of the songs is through using the cheats that they give you in-game. Because... some of the chart, it's a touchscreen game, right? Some of the charts are the exact same as the Switch version, which are expected to, shake your arms around or whatever, right? Doing that on a touchscreen where your hands are kind of spaced out like this, I know, weird. It's a little weird, but it was like impossible for some of those songs, I swear, and like I could do them fine on the Switch, on the highest difficulty, etc. Just felt like it wasn't quite QA'd properly. That was also emphasized by, I noticed so many grammar and spelling mistakes in the English script, at least.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I remember that.
There was so many. I had like a
PlayStation.
problem with the game crashing as well a couple of times, I think.
Worse than that. Worse than PlayStation.
Really?
Yeah, there was some pretty egregious ones in there, like grammar mistakes as well.
That's true.
You lost like the meaning of the sentence a couple of times, I remember.
Wow.
It launched in a really rough state, and yeah, it's like every single time I've seen a content update, they've just drip fed what's already in the Switch version. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, the first song, what is it? The twin version or whatever? What is it? The sped up version of Do It Well.
No, Cupid.
I don't know.
Cupid twin version
Cupid.
sped up.
Unless I'm mistaken, I don't think that's in the Switch version. I think that's an exclusive. So technically, they've got an exclusive. After long last, there was like 2 other songs on launch that were only on that version.
Mm-hmm.
No, 3 other songs at launch that were only in that version. Yeah. But it's interesting they're still bothering to update this, because it wasn't on that list, but I also supposedly heard that Somebody Amigo was also considered a financial failure. So
how are they
probably not on Apple Arcade?
Yeah, I was going to say Apple Arcade is not going to be the issue here. That's why this is the only version still getting updates.
Yeah. Adding these songs like Do It Well by Jennifer Lopez. Is that SEGA paying Jennifer Lopez to use her song, or how does it work?
Yeah, I don't know if Jennifer Lopez or like the record label or whatever. There's a license fee, surely.
Yeah, something like
I
that.
think it would make sense, right? So yeah, but we actually, Lime and I actually got the chance to sit down with the Hardlight people. Spoilers for a future episode of the show. And so these like partnerships to do with Apple Arcade are probably financially important as well.
Pretty fruitful.
Right? Pretty fruitful. So they probably don't really matter if not a lot of people play these games. I think we also mentioned, so Lewis was actually saying, where's Choo Choo Rocket Universe, Sega? Yeah, we actually mentioned that during the interview. Yeah, and these are limited time deals sometimes as well, so yeah. But it makes sense from a financial point of view. I know we probably prefer to have these things on other platforms, but we do have the Switch version, which I actually need to play more. It's really a lot of fun.
Because that's actually good.
It's actually good. I should stream it. Like make a fool of myself.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, which I usually do.
You could do the online co-op mode as well. I'm pretty sure the Battle Royale mode has like matching online. You could get other people into the lobby. Yeah. I've considered doing something like that. It's pretty cool.
Okay. We'll do that. Soon. Okay, and that's it. It's all for the news. All we had for the news. Thank you guys for pitching in with your thoughts on these. This was like a news roundup since the last 2 months. We hadn't have a show, so we just looked at what happened in the world of Sega. But now let's talk about. Sorry,
I like doing these.
Yeah,
the news roundups.
I usually plan them for like 15 minutes, and they take an hour to go through. But okay,
talk about.
We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of thoughts. We are opinionated people.
That's all right.
Let's talk about the Community Pulse 2023 survey, which is the main reason for this episode to exist. Yeah, the Community Pulse. Are we all still alive? That's the question. So a few weeks ago, I sent some of the community, our community friends, websites and stuff. I sent people a survey with like a few categories of games, and asked for people to rank them and vote for their favorites. The categories are the following. So the first one was Best Sega Game of 2023, which is pretty self-explanatory. Then we have Best Sega Adjacent / Inspired Game of 2023, Best Indie Game of 2023, Most Notable Fan Translation, Most Notable Fan Game. We also had a category which is like not the best, but for people to tell us what they've been playing. So notable older Sega games played in 2023. And then the final one was Best Non-Sega Game of 2023. This is basically what I've been doing for the past few seasons, but usually instead of having a survey, people would record themselves talking about these. Since we wanted to do this live and try to do this in a different way, maybe, not really, I thought we'd try this year. Note to self. Don't plan this for the very close to the week of Game Blast next year, because I wanted to do more with this, but I didn't have time. So note to self, maybe do this a little bit earlier or later in the season. But, later doesn't work because we're talking about 2023 in like the late February. So it doesn't
At least you managed to keep it within February, Casey.
Exactly.
On a technicality.
At least the live version. Yeah. So let's start with the big category. Let's not waste time. And let's go with Best Sega Game of 2023. So there was a list of games. And you guys asked not to be spoiled. So...
Did I?
Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. So this is the state for people watching. You can see the state of the survey, like the Community Pulse 2023, the Sega Community Pulse. By the way, big thank you to people from Radio Sega, Shenmue Dojo, Sega Bits, the Sega Guys, the Dreamcast Junkyard. We had streamers like Argic, Sam Procrastinates, Bika-chan, and many others. So a lot of people actually replied to this survey, and these are the results. So there's a big discrepancy, like the first two games have more points. So this is how it worked. I gave people the list of games, and they had to score them according to their 5 favorites, right? So the best one would get 5 points, second 2 points, third 3, and so on. And this is what had happened. Okay. Any guesses as to what the best game of 2023 was, guys?
Shenmue 3.
If only, if only.
No? Okay. So I'm going to reveal this little by little. Okay?
Is it not going to be Sonic Superstars, no?
I don't know. So with unfortunately 0 points, we had Persona 3 Portable. Okay, no votes for this. 1 point, one vote for Company of Heroes 3. Bayonetta Origins and Total War Pharaoh both got 2 points. And then Football Manager 2024 got 3 points. Endless Dungeon 4. And Etrian Odyssey Origins 4 points as well. Okay, so these are the first few or the last few, depending on your point of view, games here. Any sort of disappointment here, guys?
Yeah.
Really?
Bayonetta Origins was great. Absolutely deserved a few more points. I get the feeling they're my 2 points in particular. Yeah, I very much think they might be. No, great game. I don't think many people played it. I think it really went under the radar at the time, which is a shame because unlike Sonic Superstars, you can't blame that on nothing else being around at the time. It was a dry month. It just got no recognition. It
was like January, right?
It was March. What else came out in March last year? I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
I'm with Space Holiday. I'm surprised that Persona 3 Portable didn't get anything.
It even came out last year. This
is Lewis's favorite game of all time, apparently, right, Lewis? But not even Lewis voted for it, though. So that said, Lewis, what are you doing? Why didn't you vote for this? It was just a remaster, right? Though, so it wasn't really like the new game we got this year.
Yeah, I think it was literally just a port, like a PSP emulator around the game. And even then, I heard it was apparently pretty buggy on top of that. It wasn't a very good emulator.
Okay.
So, as I said, like, we had already had leaks for Persona 3 Remake for, like, a couple months. So it's like, why would I even bother playing this? And most people prefer, as Lewis said, most people prefer the PS2 versions anyway. So it's like kind of a, it's a whole storm, right?
Yeah. So poor Persona 3 Portable, no votes, but every other game had votes. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to the next batch of games. And coming up next, with 5 votes, or 5 points actually, Persona 4 Golden, a little bit higher than 3 Portable. And then Persona 5 Tactica got 9 points. And I will say Persona 5 Tactica deserved to be higher on this list. I actually played this last year in December because it was on Game Pass, and I really enjoy it. Really enjoyed this game. It's like I'm not really the type of game that I usually play, but I really enjoyed this. So
Persona 4 is such a gem of a game, though, and it only got 5.
Same thing as Portable, right? It's
I'd
just
assume most
another
people
port.
who played it will have already played it and won't have gone, oh, this is the game that I loved most this year. It's like, well, I loved it most in 2012 when it came out or whatever,
Yeah, I guess.
That's how I look back on these things personally. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's the point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rafsik, by the way, on Discord is saying, I love tactical RPGs. I loved Persona 5, but P5T was so uninspiring. I never really picked it up after a couple of attempts. Really? I actually enjoyed it very much. Not really my cup of tea in terms of genre, but the whole aesthetic and the whole Persona 5 feel to it. I thought
Rafsik didn't realize it's live.
Yeah.
That's a call out, Raf.
Yes, Rafsik, we're live on the radio and on Twitch right now. Yes. So yeah, but I thought it would. I think I voted for this one. I actually voted for it. So these 9 points, like half of them are mine, perhaps 4.5. No. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to the next section. 3 more games. So with 15 points, Samba de Amigo, Party Central. I didn't include the Meta Quest and the mobile version here, but 15 points for the Switch version. Deserved, I think. Sonic Origins Plus. Higher than I expected, to be honest, with 70 points.
Same. My reaction too. How did that get more than like Persona 4?
because maybe people played it, and some of the games on this list people didn't play. Yeah, people played it because it's Sonic.
With the experience of running general Sega surveys, if it's a Sonic option, it will poll higher than things that probably deserved it more.
Yeah, I did the same, but still.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they probably deserved it more than Origins. Your shock on your face said it all, and you're the Sonic guy here.
Yeah.
And slightly above that with 22 points, C-Smash VRS, which was surprising to me because I didn't think... Yeah, it had a few people voting for it, which is interesting. I didn't think that many people. I think I have the list here. 5 people voted for it, and 2 of them ranked it as their best game of the year. And the other 3 as the second best of the year. So
I think that was possibly me in one of those.
Probably.
I don't know if you can tell. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. I thought of you because I know you have a PSVR too. So yeah.
Oh wow! One of the few owners of those.
One of the few owners. That's my train of thought here as well. Is I wasn't expecting it to be so high because I don't think many people actually have a PSVR too.
Well, now that it's on Oculus, hopefully it picks up a bit more momentum.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
But it is a great game apparently from what everyone says. So. It seems like it's deserved. Well deserved.
Well deserved. Yeah.
Okay. And we're entering the top 5 now, right? So let's see what happens next. Ooh, exciting. So number 5, Sonic Dream Team with 23 points, slightly above C-Smash VRS. And number 4, Like a Dragon Ishin. 27
That means
points.
Sonic Dream Team got a lower score than Sonic Superstars, I guess, then, which we haven't gotten.
Average of people having played it.
That's the point, yeah, because it's only on Apple Arcade. That's definitely
still
be
like an installer base of like hundreds of millions of people potentially, right? Who can play it.
It is. It is true. That's true. It's true. Yeah.
I do feel like the people I've spoke to about it though are like they haven't got an Apple device.
Yeah.
Because I would actually prefer Sonic Dream Team over Sonic Superstars.
Oh, same. Yeah, absolutely.
Me too.
The thing is, you played both, right? So maybe not everyone did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a good point.
Top 3 bets. What are your
Sonic
bets,
Superstars?
Sonic Superstars is the top bar.
Top bar? Sonic Superstars?
Maybe not top,
because what would be topper, if that's a word?
So I can only think of the 2, and one of them Superstars. So
I'm actually surprised at what number 2 is. Number 3 actually. What number 3 is?
I don't remember.
But people voted for it, so
it's the 3 games I can't think of.
Okay.
What?
So I'm going to reveal each one at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. So, number 3, The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. This was really a surprise for me. I didn't expect people to vote for this. And many people actually voted it as like one person voted it as the best game. 4 people voted it as the second best game. And then it got a few 3s, some 2s, a couple of 1s. So, yeah. The second runner-up is The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog by the Sonic Social Team. Well done. Well done.
Even though it was my second place vote, I just forgot this game existed for a brief moment.
Okay.
Take it back. So this was my favorite Sonic game of the year.
Excellent. So, good job. Number 3. Number 2 is Sonic Superstars.
Wow.
First runner-up.
Okay.
And it's quite surprising. I was a little bit surprised that it got the second place here. I thought Sonic Dream Team would rank a little bit higher, but as we already said, it's an Apple Arcade exclusive, so maybe that's got something to do with it. It was one of my games of the year. Actually, I genuinely enjoy Sonic Superstars. I know I'm in the minority. I get the issues that people
it is a good
mention,
game.
but
I absolutely understand that.
yeah, I do enjoy it very much. Yeah. So I thought the game that got number 1 would get it. I thought this would be the best game of the year because it was is this
going to be the man that erased his name? Was that last year? Yeah, there you go.
No, there we go.
Loyal.
Yeah, Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who raised his name. That was my game of the year, my Sega game of the year. Actually, I did really enjoy this. We talked about it, Viper, when you came on the show last time. It's a shorter, more compact, Like a Dragon experience, but really enjoyable. The story is probably one of the most emotional ones in the series. So definitely, in my opinion, well deserved for the man who erased his name. And a good way to set up the events of Infinite Wealth, right? As well. So it was a really nice.
I'll say I prefer it, honestly, still. So it's a great game.
Yeah.
RGG, as SD says.
RGG. RGG, exactly. RGG. Nice. So that's it. That's it for our best. And by the way, let me just share the final results here. So 32 points for the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. He's dead, finally. Sonic Superstars got 50. Finally. And Like a Dragon Gaiden got 73 points. So 5s all across the board. 1 4 and a couple of 3s. So definitely most people's game of the year in terms of Sega games of 2023. Yeah. Any comments?
No.
Surprising list.
Yeah.
Mostly normal, but some real what's the word? Some shockers, some upsets. Upsets is the word. Some real upsets.
Scotty says, confirmed Sonic's death is more interesting than sports.
Wow.
I'll wrap that.
I can't argue with that. I have to say, yeah.
Sonic's death could be a sport in various circles.
Just a halftime show, murdering Sonic.
Okay, so that was the first category, best Sega game of 2023. And then we got into, and the other ones need a little bit more explaining. So the next one was best Sega adjacent / inspired game of 2023. What do I mean by this? We wanted games released in 2023, which, while not official Sega releases, I'm reading from the survey, were either inspired by a Sega IP or created by a former Sega developer and share some of the Sega DNA we all love. Okay, and I actually gave 2 examples, which were Bomb Rush Cyberpunk and Air Twister, as games which are Sega adjacent / inspired, right? So what do you think, guys?
What do I think?
Well,
of
I can see the results.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah, you know these. These you know. Okay, yeah, I forgot about that.
And
I shared these.
I feel like, Casey, maybe you giving those examples may have persuaded.
That was my thought too. I got that thought as well. Like, interesting.
Yeah. The reason I did was so that people would not vote for things that were really not what we wanted here. Actually, people voted for these 2 games
overwhelmingly,
but we got a vote for Hi-Fi Rush as well, which I thought interesting. And in a way, I agree. Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush is definitely like Jet Set Radio.
Yes.
Yeah, in a way,
kind of graphical style.
Maybe. So I got the vote for that game as well. But the winner was, of course, this
Bomb
Rush Cyberpunk was the best Sega adjacent or inspired game with like a majority of votes. Although Air Twister was also highly voted, but Bomb Rush Cyberpunk was the winner in this category. Have you guys played it? I know Viper has. I know you have. Yeah.
I didn't finish it, but I played it.
Yeah, really enjoyed my time with this.
I've seen Bika stream it, so I know what it is.
Now that you've played Jet Set Radio, Lime, you should actually play this as well.
Play a good Jet Set Radio game, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it does look good. Like in Jet Set Radio, like in any of the games, do you get that like boost pack that you have on the back that you have in this game, or is that exclusive to this?
That's exclusive to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's an interesting twist on the Jet Set Radio formula, right? And you don't just have like the skates. You have the bike
between all of them. Yeah,
the
bike's my favorite.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Ravsik is asking, and this is a question that came up: is Sea Smash VRS directly published by SEGA? I thought it wasn't. So it's not. It wasn't directly published by SEGA, but it is a SEGA IP. Same reason why Bayonetta Origins was on the list, because it is technically a SEGA IP, right? But it was published by Wolf and Wood. No, that's the developer.
Same sort of thing, like the Panzer Dragoon remake or something.
York's
like
company.
Yeah.
York Tittle's company. I don't know which one. Rapid Eye Movers, I think. And Wolf and Wood were the developers of the game. Yeah. So as just like Lewis is saying, don't sleep on Bomb Rush if you love JSR. Even if you don't, try it. I think you'll love it. It's a really good game. It's so satisfying.
If you ever had gripes with how Jet Set Radio plays, it just washes all that away. It's Jet Set Radio in the modern day without all of the clunk. And I love those games, but they're hard to recommend to people who've not already played them unless you're recommending them on a purely aesthetical basis rather than actually playing them. It fixes every problem like that. So if you're hesitant based on that, I'd just jump into it, honestly.
Yeah.
I recently played the Jet Set Radio games. I very much enjoyed it. I didn't get far, though, but I
need to have another joint stream.
Definitely.
I'm live commentating on your progress through GSR.
It was loads of fun.
Mama, don't sleep on it.
Okay. So, next up, we have the category that I think... And so, by the way, full disclosure, the only category that was mandatory was the first one, was Best Sega Game. So not everyone, voted for the other categories, maybe because they didn't play any of the games that fit the criteria or didn't really understand. This next one caused a little bit of confusion, so I had to void some of the votes. Best Indie Game of 2023, but it says here what it is. We're choosing the best indie/homebrew game released for Sega platforms in 2023. And I gave an example, which was, again, the one that won. But there were a few more votes here that weren't mentioned in the survey. However, there were a couple of votes for games that were yes, indie games, but not really the ones that we were looking for. Not indie games released on PC. We wanted indie games for Sega systems, right? So that's why some of these votes didn't count. So, surprise, surprise, who won? Driving Strikers on the Dreamcast by Reality Jump, right? So Driving Strikers won Best Indie Game of the year. There were votes for Final Fight MD as well, and for Postal on the Dreamcast as well. Yeah, which was which is valid. Yeah. But Driving Strikers won this category of best indie games. So for next year, remember these are games developed by people who are not like SEGA, who are not like a big company, and just released games for SEGA systems. I'm actually having a conversation with the developer of Driving Strikers soon. Ooh. So look forward to that on the SEGA Lounge. Next, we had most notable fan translation of 2023. One of the most interesting categories because we had a lot of votes here. I didn't expect people to vote for so many and to be so knowledgeable about this. So we actually had two of them. There was close vote here. Two of them were very, very close. But for example, Dracula X Nocturne in the Moonlight was mentioned on the Saturn. Stellar Assault SS for the Saturn as well. Silhouette Mirage on the Saturn was also mentioned. Bomberman Fight.
Was that I Need Fruit? Did he vote for that one?
He's a massive Bomberman fan. The winner by very close margin. So runner-up, Rent a Hero #1 on the Dreamcast. And the winner, I'm confused. Is this the graphic? No, this was the previous one. Okay. So it's this one.
Again.
It's this one. Nakaruru, The Gift She Gave Me, by Derek Pascarella, Duralumin, Marshall Wong, and person in chat right now, Lewis Cox.
Nice.
Yeah. So this was the game that won. I haven't played this. Have you guys played this?
I just downloaded it yesterday.
Okay.
Same. I need to get Driving Strikers as well, so that would be in the same category, but nearly played this. It doesn't count, but...
I've heard a lot about it on the Dreamcast Junk podcast.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet for one simple reason, because of the genre of game it is. It's like a visual novel, and I'm not really too familiar with like the universe it's based on, but I do understand why it was voted as the most notable. And I was actually careful for once about not calling this best fan translation, because I think that would be a little bit like unfair, because translating games without getting paid and the amount of work that that people do with these, I don't think calling it best is a good way, but most notable. And I do understand why this is one of the most notable fan translations due to the amount of text involved. And I know Lewis shared this was a labor of love and something that consumed a lot of time. So, yeah, well deserved, guys. See? So Lewis says, it's a visual novel. I understand it's not for everyone. A lot of the reason I joined the team was I just wanted to play it in English. There we go. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is the announcement trailer that we're watching right now. It doesn't really show much of in terms of gameplay, but it shows a little bit of the art style, and it gives you a little insight into the story of Nakaruru, The Gift She Gave Me. Right. So it's now available, and you can download the English translation patch. By the way, quick mention.
Gift of guitar?
That's a good question. Is the gift the guitar? Mm. Ooh, is that a guitar, or is that
Maybe you just have to play
a mystical instrument? Mm. Tonight I'm going to sing you a song about the spirits of spring. Ooh. Yeah. So, by the way, I forgot something, because I'm a very organized person. I wanted to mention, by the way, what Driving Strikers is for people not familiar with the game. So it's like a Rocket League type game, which you can play online on the Dreamcast. So You can also get it on Steam, but you can play online right now on Dreamcast. So that's a very good a very good place to be right now, right? 2023, 2024 with new games, with online play coming for the Dreamcast. That's amazing. Yeah, with crossplay. Yes,
Wow.
Scotty is saying
I didn't know that.
with crossplay.
That's cool.
Yes,
Wow.
that's true.
That is cool.
That's true. Yeah, and I wanted to give a special mention. I think this is appropriate since Lewis indirectly just won one of our categories. I wanted to mention before, but it's a good time as any. The Dreamcast Junkyard's top 25 Dreamcast indie games article, and so they actually asked people to vote for their top 25 Dreamcast indie games, and it's been updated with the 2023 releases, which includes actually somewhere Driving Strikers. So if you look at this, you'll find some interesting indie developed games that fit this criteria that we wanted for best indie game of 2023, games released for the Dreamcast. And a big shout out to the Dreamcast Junkyard, which was like the outlet, the community website that actually participated the most in this survey. A lot of people from the DCJY voted for their favorite games of 2023. So thank you very much, guys. I was trying to find Driving Strikers. Okay, number four. Wow. Yeah, that's high praise. High praise. So, online gaming on the Dreamcast in 2023, crossplay with PC. What a world we live in. Okay. By the way, Rent a Hero number 1. Do try that if you can. Really enjoyed it. That was my pick because it was the one that I played the most last year. Really enjoy it. It's got Sanshiro. So yeah. Okay. Scotty Mo says, in the year 2000. Yeah, that's a throwback. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going with another category, which is most notable fan game.
Right.
So this was, I don't know, was this a surprise, Jim?
Maybe not, because she shared this voting stuff to Shenmue Dojo, so there's only one option. But there's some good games I'm reading in the runners up and stuff, so maybe it is a surprise, I don't know.
I mean, there were more than the Shenmue Dojo people voting for this, I'll tell you that.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot
That's
more
good to hear.
people voted for it. And yeah, but without probably a lot of surprise. Is it this? I think it is, yes. Okay. Dreams of Saturn by George Kitchen. So it's a Shenmue fan game, which released late last year. So it was still fresh in people's minds.
Yeah.
And
Nice Christmas game.
Yeah, well deserved. Definitely well deserved. So would you like to explain briefly what this game is about?
So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a prequel to Shenmue in the sense that Ryo's father's alive.
Oh, look.
Oh, look who it is.
So,
Inception. Jimception.
Oh, yeah. I just noticed that, yeah. It's me and Matt playing. Yeah. We did stream it for Christmas. So, yeah, it is pretty much a Christmas fan game where Ryo has to try and get a Sega Saturn. And it's just jam-packed with more than just Shenmue, basically. So if you're a big Shenmue fan, obviously this is you're going to be right at home. You're going to wander the streets of Dobuita and Sakuroka and everything. It's all there. It plays in first person, and there's loads of like details that obviously George Kitchen's a big Shenmue fan, so these are like a lot of like Shenmue-esque details. But there's also a lot of things in there that's just, I think any Sega fan is going to enjoy. Like there's Nights into Dreams content in there. There's Rystar. There's just like loads of cool Sega IP things in there. These collectible toy capsules from different characters and cassette tapes. There's actual Sega Saturn games that you can take back, and you can't actually play them, but you can watch them on Rio's TV. And like it's just the attention to detail. It's like Shenmue, but even more. So, like I say, all the TVs are like working and showing footage and like video content on the TVs live, and there's QTEs in there, and it's a really nice story as well. There's like an underlying story, and then there's some bits and bobs that have been inspired by, say, even Shenmue 3, herb picking, just loads of stuff to do. And George is actually working on a new game, kind of a follow-up to this, that's releasing later in the year. There's a video on YouTube of, I think Joe Kitchen released a video of all of the cutscenes from this game, and then at the end he sort of teased what George's next game is going to be. It's going to be like set in Guilin, and it looks stunning. And a little bit later in the year as well, he's doing a 2.0 version of Dreams of Saturn that includes the harbour. So yeah, definitely check that out. And you can get this right now. If you go on the Shenmue Dojo and click Media, scroll down to the fan games section, and you can grab it from there.
And it's got controller support now, right? Which it didn't have when it launched. So yeah.
And I think 2.0, when that releases, that's also going to have like third person toggle, so you can play third person or first person, depend like if you didn't like the first person aspect.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it. That's our most notable fan game of the year. Dreams of Saturn. Good job.
And that one
George.
is well deserved.
Yeah,
definitely.
well deserved. Quick mention though to Golden X 32X, which was actually a couple of people voted for this one. And then we had also Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit also got a couple of votes. Yeah. Then we had Sonic 3 Chronicles, Hellfire Saga, Sonic Overture 95. This one I didn't know. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, which is a hack of Sonic of Streets of Rage 2. And it looks really good. Have to say, I looked it up and was really surprised with how it looks and how it looks like it plays. So probably want to check out. Yeah, no, I thought someone said something. No, okay.
Yeah, I said something, but I just said, okay. I had nothing more to add to that.
Yeah, Resident SE is saying really like Sonic 3 Chronicles, great concept.
Yeah, I'm happy that I got one mention there, because like in the of the Sage games, that was absolutely the one I adored the most. I loved it.
I really enjoyed the Sage episode we did last year. We need to do it again this year. Yeah, it was really nice to have like a full-on episode dedicated to that event, and the amount of great games is just amazing every year. Yeah, so that's the final Sega related category that actually had votes, right? Next up, we had notable older Sega games played in 2023. So here it's like people could mention whatever games they wanted. Surprisingly, though, there were like people who mentioned the same games. So Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed got some mentions. Shenmue awesome got some mentions. Yeah, Shenmue's a great game, Lime. Indeed, that's true, Lime. Yes. Lime.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
However,
yeah.
No. However, I'm absolutely sure it is. I should give it a try one day.
Yeah, 2024, Lime.
Yeah.
Long year.
Vote for this next year.
Yeah. Hashtag let's get Lime to play Shenmue. So yeah. Or
SD,
like Resident SD says,
don't.
It's shorter.
Cancel Lime.
Cancel Lime. Okay.
It's a bit extreme.
We also had a couple of mentions for Spike Out, probably because of the. Wait, Spike Out
is going down, something like that.
Is that like a Dragon Infinite Wealth?
It's an Infinite Wealth, yeah.
So Infinite Wealth, maybe people played it outside of
Hopefully.
Makes sense.
We wouldn't want them submitting 2024 games. That's future content.
Oh, that's spoiler content. Okay, a couple of people mentioned the PS2 version of Shinobi, which is interesting as well. Yakuza Like a Dragon, Daytona USA 2. Okay, Like a Dragon Gaiden makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sega Sonic Arcade, nice. Panzer Dragoon Saga, Shenmue 2, Bare Knuckle 3 English modded, 7 Mentions Ghastly Smile, Sega Rally, Crackdown, Nights into Dreams, Panzer Dragoon Orta, Persona 5, Monkey Ball on the arcade, nice. Old school, Zero Tolerance, Wirehead, Kids on Sight, Slam City with Scottie Pippen, Sonic Mania, Hatsune Miku Project Diva Extend, Kunoichi.
What was that one? Is that a Sega game?
Slam City with Scottie Pippen? Really? Yeah, classic.
It's a classic.
Yeah. What console's that on?
Isn't that Mega CD?
I've never heard of
on
this
the
game
Apple
in
Pen?
my
I think
life.
it is.
Me neither.
Yes, Mega
Fair
CD.
enough.
Yeah.
Right,
Slam
okay.
City. It
Slam
was
City
Scotty.
with Scottie
It was Scotty.
Pippen.
Scotty mentioned this. He says, that was
gonna
me and
check
I'm
this
not
out.
sorry.
Is that a US exclusive?
It's like one of those FMV games
Yeah.
on the Mega CD.
Okay.
That's,
As are a few
rings
of them
well,
here.
actually.
Yeah. See? It says, I experienced Slam City for the first time and had to mention it. It's a gem.
Interesting.
Nice. Yeah.
Who's
What
Scottie Pippen?
else? Basketball player. Really? Even I know that. No?
But-
Am I
Yeah.
right? I think I am. Yeah.
You see, you're always right.
Oh,
That's
sorry, he's the
true.
final boss.
That's Scottie Pippen is the final boss. Never played the game. I've seen footage of the game. I've seen people mentioning the game, but never played it. Are you for real? Is Scottie Pippen the final boss?
That's what he said.
Apparently, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Top 6 says Michael Jordan's sidekick.
Yeah, playing for the Bulls. No, I got destroyed. We never even saw Pippen. Oh, that's a shame. It's a hard game, apparently. Okay. Kunoichi, PlayStation 2. So that's the Nightshade, right? Kunoichi is the Japanese name.
The sequel to Shinobi.
Exactly, on the PS2. And Sega Rally 2006 on the PS2 as well. So those were the mentions of...
Can you see who picked who? Or who picked what game there?
Yes. I
Did-
can.
SkillJim, Shenmue. Everyone else is irrelevant.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, did Dr. Scottnick pick Monkey Ball Arcade?
Oh, yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
No.
Because he
No.
was the one that
I
was...
can see who picked that.
Cool,
I
that
can
luck
give me a
is.
second and I'll try to find who picked. Not everyone mentioned these games here because this was one of the optional categories.
Scotty.
You
It says
shouldn't be
that's against the
revealing this.
confidentiality. of this.
I'm just going to mention if people didn't say they didn't want to be like involved in the show, because there was an option for people not to be involved in the show, that they just wanted to vote. But if that's not the case, I can maybe, and depending on who it is. Interesting. I just noticed something. Oh, the person who is in chat who voted for, who mentioned 7 mentions Ghastly Smile, said great 2-player co-op. Okay, so if you want to have a nice 2-player co-op experience, the said person says this is a good idea. Good game to try.
Said person might have already
Shenmue.
mentioned this in the chat, so we can easily identify them.
I don't know. I'm struggling actually to find.
But
the
don't worry about
Monkey
it, Casey.
Ball.
It was,
I
yeah,
think I
if
know who
if
it
wasn't
was.
Dr. Scottnick, then
I think
that
it
was
was.
in-
Okay,
Sure.
there we go. Oh, actually, it was Brian. Brian from the Dreamcast Junkyard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the only game he mentioned. Shout out to Brian. Brian Vines. Arrest KC.
Maybe that's the same machine.
GDPR violation.
That's wild that someone actually put Monkey Ball Arcade. And it's Brian involved. Yeah, I wonder if that's the cabinet, because I was going to talk about this briefly. There's one that's going to be coming up local to me, so that's going to be on my 2024 list. And I'm not too far from where Brian's coming to, I think. So I wonder if it's the same cabinet. Could talk about it next year.
Yeah. Excellent.
Fascinating, I know. Sorry.
No. Yeah, but it's nice. It's nice that we can actually find places where to play these older Sega arcade games still, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so for the final category, we have best non-Sega game of 2023. So it really doesn't matter because it's not Sega, but people could vote either way. And we got a tie for top spot. So special mentions: Viewfinder. Would you care to talk about it, Lime?
Yeah. That took me by surprise. I already love like the puzzle games that really inspires you with new ways. And I'm talking Portal 2 is that Portal series is an awesome game. And there was, what game am I thinking about? There was another one that I just can't, that just ain't coming to me. But yeah, like what you do is that you have a camera basically in the game, and let's say that you have cliff in front of you. It's like you need to get over to the other side, and so what do? You can't go over there. But what you do then is like you take a photo of the bridge right over there. And then when you've taken a photo of that, then you align that photo with the gap in front of you and then press a button. And now that bridge is on that gap and you can just move over. So that's how you then solve the puzzles using the camera. And it's just such an inspiring way to solve puzzles. I absolutely love it. It's a huge recommend.
Yeah. I remember I saw you streaming this. I thought it was interesting. One of those games that I think to myself, I'll eventually play this, but maybe never will. But it's one of those games that if I do end up trying it, I'll probably love it. Yeah. Wily Coyote stuff, says Rapsig.
Viewfinger.
Probably with a better Viewfinger. I think Viewfinger is a different game.
It's a very different
Scotty.
game. Use your camera in very different ways.
This is Viewfinder. yes. Just to clarify. Also, there was Spider-Man 2. There was Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which I haven't played yet. I liked the first one. Didn't play this yet. RoboCop Rogue City. Baldur's Gate 3 surprisingly only had one mention. Thought people would vote more for this. Sea of Stars, Lunar Lux, and then we had like the runners up were Street Fighter 6, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and Lethal Company. Those were the runners up. And we had a tie for first place for most voted non-Sega game. So Sega games not developed or published or in any way related to Sega. So we had two. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk and Resident Evil 4. I know Bomb Rush Cyberpunk was also in another category, but it actually fit. And we had a tie for these two games, Resident Evil 4 and Bomb Rush Cyberpunk by Team Reptile. Thoughts, guys?
Deserved. I can only speak for one instance, though.
I'm playing Resident Evil 4 at the moment, to be honest, with PSVR 2, and it's a great game. Yeah. I never really, like back in the day when I played Resident Evil 4 I played it on the Wii or the GameCube where it was released. I think it was a Wii game, wasn't it, right, when it came out? And
it was on GameCube
obviously,
first.
It was on what, sorry?
I think
it was on GameCube first, and then there was the Wii version.
Okay. I think it was GameCube then. It was when it came out, and it was like a bit of a shock compared to the other games, because obviously this is like a third person, and back in the day it was camera. I forget the exact phrasing.
Over the shoulder. Something like that.
There's another word. Sort of like
Sony.
It's not going to come to me on air.
Game.
But,
or they all have the same camera.
like the where you're walking into the camera and then the camera flicks and then you're in a Resident Evil style.
View finger.
Maybe so. Maybe that's what it was called, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, see the view finger.
Fixed camera.
And then obviously
Fixed
Resident
camera.
Evil 4 was a different style. So that was a bit of a shock when it came out. But playing it in 2024, I'm playing it at the moment in VR, it's just insane. You're grabbing for your knife here and stabbing and getting your gun out your pocket, and it's like very hands-on experience.
Please do it again.
You're getting your knife and you're stabbing, then you're getting your gun, and then over your shoulder you pull out your shotgun, and you have to actually like.
Sorry. Yes, please.
Pump action shotgun like that.
You can do finger the shotgun or something.
Okay, view finger then. Okay, basically, yeah. Hashtag view finger. Okay. What did you guys vote for, by the way, or did you not vote for this?
I can't remember.
Cyberpunk.
I might have skipped this
I
one.
voted Viewfinder.
Oh yeah. That's true. Yeah. I voted Tears of the Kingdom. It was thought about Bomb Rush, but at the end of the day, the amount of time I spent with that game last year, so yeah, it had to be Tears of the Kingdom. I do understand that maybe it's not like it wasn't as impactful as Breath of the Wild because of the surprise of it. It wasn't really something entirely new.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing game. Yeah, totally recommend it. And proof that you can actually do something with very poor hardware that is amazing to play as well.
Yeah, it was amazing that they could make that game on the Switch. Yeah. Like
the whole... what do we call it? The depths, right? Area.
Yeah.
And the sky area. The sky area, simpler, not as crowded, like with things to do and stuff. But the depths, when I realized there was was a parallel between the different levels of the game. Like if there was a shrine here, there would be. I'm gesturing. People are not watching. Yeah. Where you have a shrine on the surface, you have one of those light roots in the depths, and
and if it was a river here in the top world, it would be like a wall there in the depths, and you could not get over or get through. It was like that. Like, oh my gosh, this is a river. So they're connected.
Yes. And because I didn't want to get spoiled for anything, I didn't really, I realized all of those things on my own. So I think people probably were talking about if you want to find all the light roots in the depths, just look for shrines, or if you want to find shrines, look at the light roots, and they're, just mark them on the map. I realized that many hours into the game, it was like, wait, really? And it's all the more satisfying. But that wasn't the best non-SEGA game of 2023. So I'm gonna shut up about it. Congrats!
Is here.
Yeah, congrats to Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, well deserved, and to Resident Evil 4, the remake for current gen systems. Scotty says the logical next step, Zelda in space. For sure. Okay, so that's it for our Community Pulse 2023. We are all still pretty much alive for now. It's nice to see. And let us know, by the way, if you're listening to the podcast version, let us know your thoughts on this. If you agree, don't agree, send us an email to podcast@thesegalaunch.com. Use the voicemail function on the website. Let us know, or use our social media to say what you think about this. For one, I think these are all pretty much fair results.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Maybe the most surprising thing on this whole thing was the order in which some of these games
yeah, there were some surprises there, right? Indeed.
I thought Like a Dragon Gaiden would be the winner here for I don't know why, but that was just my gut feeling. But then having Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog placed 3, placed 3rd was surprising. For example, and other things. Sea Smash as well, more popular than I thought. Yeah. So yeah, nice. Okay, and so that's it for our Community Pulse section of the show, which means it's pretty much it for this episode. This episode of the Sega Lounge. Scotty says, not trying to be controversial, but it's cool to see something other than Sonic topping out most of it. For sure. Completely agreed. Yeah.
That's why I was expecting Superstars. I was just expecting Sonic to win. So
I wasn't expecting any Sonic in the top.
Sonic to win. Yeah, me neither.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Jim, like, well, really?
What do I know? I didn't really play anything last year, so...
Yeah. So next year, or this year, you know what to do. You have to play everything Sega puts out. So
all the games.
Next year we have a
discussion on this. But get my fee for the Sega Lounge.
For the love of Knuckles, for the love of the Sega Lounge. That's our motto here at the Sega. So before we go, guys, let's talk a little bit about what you've been doing. So where can people find you? What have you been up to these days? Let's start with Viper, our specialist guestist.
Apparently. Who knows? You can catch me on radiosega.net as per usual. In particular, if you're listening to this live or at any time really, tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK time will be a brand new edition of Pick and Mix. No idea what it's about, but that's every week. Otherwise, catch me at the Green Viper 8. Oh, that's where I always get confused. No more Twitter, no more X, whatever we want to call it. I'm at the Green Viper 8. .thevipvipers.space on Blue Sky. And I'm at the VIP Vipers at the VIPvipers.space or something like that. I don't know. It's confused.
They have to come up with a better way to share these things, right?
Yeah, like one of those like link cards or whatever people do. I gotta do this, right? It's too much of a pain.
No, but I think it's on them. It's on them. They have to find a way to make this more streamlined somehow. Yeah,
there's too many things to list. I could probably make some more just to make this longer and more drawn out and even more boring. But
please do.
Okay, but no, just Google it. I guess find it if you care that much.
Or just look at the show notes and we'll find some links.
True. Go to the SegaLounge.com.
There you go.
Why did I think of that?
That Blue Sky username is like someone reading out a full web address back in the 2000s.
Yeah.
The thing about Blue Sky is actually you can, if you have a website, you can actually associate your domain name.
That's what I've done. That's why it's so long.
So it's like but mine is just at thesegalounge.com, so it's easier.
Radio Sega's one's real slick, but mine, however, is just a mess.
Yeah. Okay.
It's bad when you can't remember it, Viper.
Yeah, I can't remember my own link. I know. Shock.
Next up, Lime Reversed.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
How are you? Welcome.
I am good. Do you want to know where you can find me and what I do?
Of course.
Is that why you came into to my room, all uninvited, and all of a sudden?
That was kind of creepy, but yes, please do share.
But yeah, I am Lime Reversed. I focus on 100%ing Sonic games. Right now, I've moved to Sonic and the Secret Rings.
Good
Trying
luck.
to 100% that, having a ball with that. And if I don't do Sonic, I play Yakuza 0. So Wednesdays, Sonic, and then Fridays, Yakuza 0. And yeah, I'm having lots of fun over at Twitch. So please come by and say hi there if you want to at Lime Reversed.
Yeah, and you should. You should, actually. Yes. Well done.
Yeah,
okay. SkillJim.
Yo. You can
I
find
just
me
noticed you have
on...
the seal of approval there next to you. Just now, yes.
Might as well put it on the show.
Yeah.
You can find me on X at SkillJim. Obviously, shenmuedojo.com, where the next thing that we're doing is we've got a podcast launching on Radio Sega First on the next upcoming guest night at 8 p.m. this coming Monday. So if you want more podcast goodness, you can listen to the Shenmue Dojo show at that time. It's episode 2 of season 4, where we're covering a little bit more on the chapter titles that we started in the first episode, but this time we're looking at Shenmue Master interviews, which were really interesting, and there's quite a lot of spoilers that Yu Suzuki said over the years, and that was a good episode we did with Shenmue's Stuart Peacock. So check that one out. And we're actually also streaming at the same time, unfortunately, because it's the 4th of the month we do a Shenmue Day stream. So you're going to have to pick and choose which you'd rather have, the podcast or the live stream.
The podcast will release later, or the live thing.
Yeah, both will have a VOD, I guess. So it's not really imperative that you have to be in one of the places at that time. You could do them both on a Friday if you want. You don't have to come on Monday, but those are your options there for Shenmue content.
Excellent. That's great. That's great. Yeah, thank you for sharing. As for the Sega Lounge, next week actually we'll have Lime coming back because we did an interesting interview with Sega Hardlight, right, Lime?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was very much fun. It was very much interesting. So yeah, do listen into that.
Yeah. So next week, that's our next episode, focusing on Sonic Dream Team, and it's gonna be fun. Yeah, definitely a highlight of the season, and it just started. Maybe that's why it's a highlight. Don't have much to choose from. It's a hard light. View finger. Anyway. So yeah. So do tune in for that. We'll be back next week, of course, and hopefully next month we'll do another one of these live shows. So do check us out on Twitch, by the way, twitch.tv/the Sega Lounge, and that's where we usually do these live shows as well. Scotty, you'll forever be known by your view finger typo. It is what it is. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me. Hope you have a great evening. Thank you, everyone, for listening in, for watching the live version of this, or listening in on Radio Sega. And have a great week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm waving.
Bye. Yes, please, audio description. We are now waving to the camera.
Wait.
There we go. Bye.
The Sega Lounge, hosted by me, KC, and part of Radio Sega's network of live shows and podcasts. Theme song and incidental music by OSC. Got any suggestions? Drop me an email to podcast@thesegalounge.com. Find us at The Sega Lounge on X, Twitter, and Instagram, at thesegalounge.com on Blue Sky, and be sure to check out our Twitch and YouTube channel for live video content. You can find previous episodes of the show by going to thesegalounge.com, on the Terra Player app, and wherever you listen to podcasts. a Mixed on Productions podcast.